The defense industry, a cornerstone of national security, is entrusted with a sacred duty to equip our armed forces with the tools they need to defend our nation. But what happens when this trust is shattered by greed and corruption? Operation Lightning Strike, a landmark FBI investigation, exposed a web of fraud that shook the aerospace industry to its core. In the late 1990s, whispers of wrongdoing within the aerospace industry began to surface. Rumors of rigged bids, inflated contracts, and illicit kickbacks reached the ears of law enforcement. The FBI, recognizing the gravity of the situation, launched Operation Lightning Strike, an ambitious and far-reaching investigation aimed at exposing the depth of the corruption and bringing the perpetrators to justice. It was about sending a clear message that corruption within the defense industry would not be tolerated. The investigation targeted not only individual wrongdoers but also the systemic failures that allowed such corruption to flourish. Operation Lightning Strike would go on to uncover a scandal that spanned multiple companies and involved billions of taxpayer dollars, leading to significant reforms in defense procurement practices. The aerospace industry, with its high-stakes contracts and complex procurement processes, has long been seen as vulnerable to corruption. Operation Lightning Strike brought to light several types of fraudulent activities that had become rampant within the industry. One of the most common schemes involved bid rigging, where competing companies would collude to manipulate the bidding process. Instead of competing fairly, they would agree beforehand who would win the contract and at what price, effectively defrauding the government. Another widespread problem was the payment of kickbacks. Contractors would offer bribes, often in the form of cash or lavish gifts, to government officials in exchange for favorable treatment. These bribes could influence the awarding of contracts, the approval of inflated invoices, and the overlooking of substandard work. Contractors would often lowball their initial bids to secure contracts, knowing they could later inflate the costs through change orders and other amendments. The prevalence of these fraudulent practices had a corrosive effect on the aerospace industry and, by extension, on national security. The FBI, recognizing the insidious nature of the corruption within the aerospace industry, employed a multi-pronged approach to investigate and expose the wrongdoers. Central to this strategy was the use of undercover operations, which allowed agents to infiltrate the corrupt networks and gather evidence firsthand. Undercover agents, posing as representatives of aerospace companies or as intermediaries for government officials, engaged in carefully orchestrated scenarios to expose the illegal activities. These agents, equipped with hidden cameras and recording devices, met with suspects, participated in negotiations, and witnessed firsthand the exchange of bribes and the discussion of fraudulent schemes. The recordings and testimonies of undercover agents provided prosecutors with the ammunition they needed to build strong cases against the individuals and companies involved in the corruption. Forensic accountants meticulously examined financial records, bank statements, and other documents to uncover evidence of illicit payments, inflated invoices, and other financial irregularities. This combination of undercover operations and forensic accounting allowed the FBI to build a comprehensive picture of the corruption within the aerospace industry. Section 4. A United Front Task Forces and Interagency Cooperation. Operation Lightning Strike, given its wide-ranging scope and the complexity of the crimes involved, required a concerted effort from multiple government agencies. Recognizing the need for a coordinated response, the FBI formed a dedicated task force, bringing together experts from various agencies to pool their resources and expertise. This task force served as a central hub for information sharing, investigative strategy, and coordinated action. It facilitated seamless communication between agencies, ensuring that all involved were working in sync toward the common goal of dismantling the corrupt networks operating within the aerospace industry. The Department of Defense, the primary customer of the aerospace industry, played a crucial role in the investigation. The DoD provided the task force with invaluable insights into defense procurement processes, contract details, and the inner workings of the industry. The Department of Justice, responsible for prosecuting federal crimes, worked closely with the FBI from the outset of the investigation. The success of Operation Lightning Strike was a testament to the power of interagency cooperation. Section 5. Justice is served. Indictments, convictions, and financial reckoning. As Operation Lightning Strike reached its climax, the evidence meticulously gathered by the FBI and its partner agencies culminated in a series of high-profile indictments. Prosecutors, armed with irrefutable evidence, brought charges against individuals and companies implicated in the bid-rigging schemes, kickback payments, and other fraudulent activities. The indictment sent shockwaves through the aerospace industry, exposing the extent of the corruption and the individuals who had betrayed the public trust for personal gain. The trials that followed provided a public accounting of the crimes committed. Prosecutors presented compelling evidence, including testimony from undercover agents, incriminating recordings, and detailed financial analyses. Numerous individuals and companies were convicted on charges ranging from conspiracy to commit fraud to bribery and money laundering. These convictions resulted in significant prison sentences, hefty fines, and a lasting stain on the reputations of those involved.